In Aranyakand, Sita was abducted by Ravan and taken to Lanka. On the way, she wrapped all her jewelry and dropped it on a monkey, which happened to be Sugriv, the banished prince of Kishkinda. In their search for Sita, Ram and Lakshman reached Pampa, where Kishkinda Kand begins. Sugriv lived in Mount Rishimukh with a few loyal subjects. He was hiding from Bali, his elder brother, and the king of Kishkinda. He was suspicious of the two warrior-looking hermits and sent his minister Hanuman to check. Disguised as a Brahmin, Hanuman tested them in conversation. Convinced that they were not Bali's spies, he invited them to meet Sugriv. Ram was impressed with Hanuman's intellect and instantly trusted him. Sugriv explained how Bali wrongly banished him from Kishkinda and stole his wife Ruma. Once Bali was fighting a demon called Mayavi, who ran inside a cave. Bali pursued him, ordering Sugriv to stand guard till he returned. About a year later, Sugriv heard a loud roar and saw blood flowing out of the cave. Assuming Bali was killed, he closed the cave with a huge boulder. He went back to Kishkinda and was crowned king. A few days later, Bali returned and decided Sugriv was a traitor and banished him from the kingdom. Seeing his sincerity, Ram promised Sugriv to eliminate Bali and make him the king again. In return, Sugriv promised to send his army of monkeys in all directions to search for Sita. Hearing Ram's story, Sugriv remembered and produced the jewels that fell on his head for identification. He then described Bali's extraordinary strength, how he uprooted an entire sal tree once, and showed him the skeleton of the demon Dundubhi that Bali had killed and flung across an entire yojna. To remove Sugriv's doubt, Ram flicked it with just his big toe and sent it flying 10 yojnas. He then pierced 7 sal trees with a single arrow. On Ram's advice, Sugriv challenged Bali for a duel. When they fought closely and vigorously, they looked so identical that Ram could not tell them apart. Sugriv, being beaten, barely escaped and ran back to Mount Rishimukh. The next day, to solve this confusion, Lakshman made Sugriv wear a flower garland and challenged Bali again. Ram watched it from a distance and shot an arrow when he caught a clear sight of Bali. The dying Bali reproached Ram for his unjust and unprovoked attack. Ram explained that anyone who mistreated a woman behaved like an animal and he was justified as a warrior to hunt and condemn them to death. Therefore, he acted lawfully by killing a wild monkey who forcibly stole his brother's wife. After Bali's death, Lakshman crowned Sugriv as king and Bali's son Angad as the crown prince. Ram gave Sugriv time to reunite with his family while waiting for the rainy season to end. After 4 months, when the rains ended, there was still no word from Sugriv, who was immersed in royal pleasures. An angry Lakshman stormed into Sugriv's palace and reminded him of his promise. Sugriv apologized profusely and sent his army in all 4 directions. Angad led the army heading south, along with Hanuman and Jambavan, the bear chief. Since Sita was taken south, Ram thought Hanuman would be the most likely to find her and gave him his ring to reassure Sita. After searching everywhere for Sita, Angad's party was starting to despair. They were too tired, hungry and thirsty to carry on. They entered a cave in search of water and were delighted to find plenty of food, water and nourishments. The monkeys spent many days there, spellbound by its beauty and comfort. Angad and Hanuman started realizing that they were entrapped there by Maya and lamented about failing Ram. Finally hearing their real purpose, the hermit Swayamprabha, with her tapas power, transported them to the southernmost part of the land facing the ocean. By then, the time given to them by Sugriv had elapsed and the monkeys dreaded his wrath. Angad decided to fast till death for his failure and all the monkeys followed him. Sampati, the elder brother of Jatayu, was a wingless old vulture who was sitting nearby eagerly awaiting to feast on their dead bodies. The monkeys were discussing the events of Sita's abduction, Jatayu's heroic death, and the current misery that they were in. Hearing the fate of Jatayu, Sampati wept and introduced himself to the monkeys. He told them the whereabouts of Ravan's kingdom Lanka, which was 100 yojanas across the ocean from there. With his powerful eyesight, he was able to see Sita sitting forlorn in a garden guarded by demonesses. The monkeys thanked Sampati, who sprouted new wings for his service to Ram and flew away. Angad and his group gathered with excitement to gauge which of them has the ability to jump 100 yojanas. Some said 10, some said 20, 50, and so on. Though Angad could jump up to 90, his life could not be risked as their leader and as the crown prince of Kishkindha. Hanuman, however, did not participate, but sat at a distance and watched them silently. He was cursed as a young child to forget all his powers until reminded at the right time. Jambavan revealed this to Hanuman and made him realize his true self. Recalling all his powers, Hanuman readied himself with immense confidence to leap across the ocean and find Sita, marking the end of the fourth part of Ramayan, Kishkinda.